Truth Tuesday. I'm going to be talking about a truth for you and a truth for me too. And this truth is that we can walk in freedom. And this is because Jesus lived the perfect life, died on the cross for our sins. And so that's the only way that we can walk in freedom. Because God's wrath was turned into favor because of Christ being the propitiation, which we'll talk about later in the week. I encourage you to watch that video. What this means that we can walk in freedom, it's not only that we're freed from the fear, the worry, the anxiety, all the stuff that weighs us down. We also don't have to worry about whether or not we're saved anymore, because once saved, always saved, like we talked about last week. It's very encouraging. But we also can live, secular freedom, what some people think freedom is in modern world, is I can be myself, I can express myself however I want to, I can be whoever I want. And that's true as long as you're glorifying God in that. But there's one part of walking in freedom that nobody talks about, and it's so annoying. Like, this is what we should be talking about because it says it in the Bible. But walking in freedom means living as a servant for God. 1 Peter 2:16 says, "Live as people who are free, not using your freedom as a cover-up for evil, but living as servants of God." Right after God mentions freedom in the Bible, He immediately goes into living as servants for Him. And that's so important because we weren't just saved and we weren't given freedom just to go live for ourselves and serve ourselves, because that would be pointless. God doesn't call us to, hey, pleasure yourself however you may like. Give yourself everything you want and you'll be totally happy. I encourage you to do that. He didn't say that. No, He said, live as people who are free, but using your freedom to serve others. And this is so important because with Christ's death, He bought our obedience by setting us free. And when you think about that, what is this talking about? Why should we live as servants? Jesus, God, was the most free person ever to live on earth, ever. And what did He do? He didn't come down to earth to live for Himself. That would be stupid. But He's the most free person ever, so He could do whatever He wants. But guess what He did? He came to earth, the most free person ever, and served others. If that isn't the perfect example, if that isn't what we should be following, I don't know what is. We should be living as servants of God because Jesus did that. And we should be living after Jesus every single day of our life. We can be expressing ourselves through the love of Jesus. Because when we express ourselves, other people will be seeing Jesus. And so live as people who are free, but using your freedom to serve others. Because that is what is most important to God. And since He gave us freedom, I think we should obey Him and serve others.